Today's topic is, I'm going to tell you how to manage focused sponsorships. Now, you know the process of turning your partner from an auto semi-sales master into an auto sales master, right? But what about those who aren't even semi-sales masters yet? Then, of course, we're talking about moving toward becoming a semi-sales master. In the end, among those attending here today, there are some complete beginners, but most of you have been doing this for over a year, and some for as long as 3, 5, or even 6 years. So, as mid-level leaders, you really need to start learning the right methods now. That's why my lectures might be a bit difficult for complete beginners. However, as you keep listening, there will come a time when you'll realize, that's what that meant. Thank you for your hard work. So just take it in lightly. First of all, if you want to maintain things, you need to think about making your partner into an auto sales master. Everyone, this is really important. They say you should manage your thoughts. And secondly, the purpose of this is, in the end, it's not for your partner. It's actually for yourself. What's really important here is that when you serve your partner in some way, you end up making too much of a show about it. But in the end, you are helping them. And it's true that things go well as you help them. But if you look at the bigger picture, what is it really? It's for yourself. So depending on whether you are present or not, the energy is different. And the effort you put in is different too. If you just think of it as simply giving, then if things get even a little tough, you start to wonder, why am I doing this? Why am I going this far? You even start to question whether you should keep doing it or not. That's why it's so important to center yourself and do it for your own sake. The third point is this. Don't focus on comparing left and right sales. Because when you focus on left and right sales, you end up developing people that way. So can you ever really put people on the stronger side of your sale? You can't. But when you're drawing out your rank, you have to maintain it, right? For us to have system income, we ultimately have to create business partners. If you want to succeed in Atomy, you have to increase the number of people attending the system. So then, what is the standard for distinguishing between business partners and consumers? For us, the marketing plan is the same. Our chairman, Park and Gil, explained the standard for business partners and consumers like this. Those who attend seminars organized by the company or meetings and seminars hosted by sponsors are considered business partners. And likewise, you share Atomy with others outside. And they also receive cashback as commission. But those people are not considered business partners, just contributing consumers. That's what he said. So we should focus more on people who participate in the system. And only when the number of such people increases will you have a solid system income, even if you get sick and have to lie down or as you get older. That's the point. You understand, right? Now, when you look at the sales on both sides, let's say the sales on my right side suddenly increased a lot. Then can I add more people to the right side or not? In reality, you can't add more, right? But will I be able to become an auto sales master? But don't just aim to be an auto sales master. How about becoming an auto diamond master at the very least? If you decide, I'm going to make it to diamond master, you need people, right? It's not just about sales volume. As you go along, you'll notice, this side is lacking in people. Or sometimes you end up lacking people on both sides. So what does that mean in the end? It means you have to place people on both sides as you go down. For me too, there's a bit of a difference in sales between my left and right side. Recently, it's gotten a bit more balanced, but there was a gap for a while. So should I place people on my left side or not? I did. Why? Because I'm looking at the bigger picture. Why? To reach Imperial Master, the foundation needs to be deeper. And there's a process I have to go through to become an Imperial Master. I became an Auto Diamond Master, and I have to become an Auto Charlotte Rose Master too, right? So to become an Auto Charlotte Rose Master, you need to have 2 Auto Diamond Masters on each side. Do you have them or not? I'm talking about maintaining it, maintaining the rank. I'm not talking about just hitting it once. Everyone, maintaining that status is difficult. Why? Because even as an Auto Charlotte Rose Master, the sales volume required is that high. You all know the beginner or chick level, right? Even among Charlotte Rose Masters, it varies depending on sales volume. If you're a first-time Auto Charlotte Rose Master at the beginner level, your sales need to reach at least 100 million won in just half a month. So how much do you need to make in a month? That means you need 200 million won in sales per month in Korean won. So that's not a small amount, everyone. Imagine if you could keep that up consistently. It's incredible. So you really have to dig deep below that level. But as I kept doing it, I realized I'm still not strong enough. That's why I bring in people and keep going down further. And at times like this, what happens is when you look at your rank, you realize, I'm still lacking on both sides. That's why you need to look at the big picture. What did the Imperial Master say? They told us to dream a super dream. This is where your capacity comes into play. People with a super dream versus those with a small dream. What happens with a small dream? Big problems always arise, right? This is where conflicts happen. You should do it. Sponsor, you need to help. Whether I support or not, conflicts arise like this. Do you understand? So at this crucial point, leaders who genuinely possess a truly super dream will inevitably receive truly great and significant rewards. And fourth, when you are diligently trying to create an exceptional auto sales master, you will undoubtedly need to sacrifice considerably more than your partners do. Don't just try to teach your partners with words and force them to take action. You have to show them first. You need to take the initiative and have your actions be replicated by others. Seeing you work so hard will make them think, I should work hard too. Even if you don't tell them directly to do this or that, they'll naturally think, when I did it this way, my sponsor guided me, helped me, and supported me, so things turned out well. That way, the person will naturally come to realize it on their own and start doing it themselves. You were curious, right? And fifth, while looking at both lines of your legs, you need to think about how you will nurture each person and manage that process. There are actually a lot of people in Atomy who just work really hard in a kind of hit or miss way. Just working hard at this won't make it work. So when it comes to building an organization along the leg lines, you really need to set the right direction as a true leader. Why? Because that's the hard part, the ability to counsel and intuition. This is something that really can't be taught with theory, because it's not about searching for gems by thinking, in this situation, I should try this or that as you act. It's about creating them. So for me, when the Imperial Master said that it's about creating gems, you probably heard about their own growth journey in the past. When I heard the stories from the past, the stories they told, there was something I created for myself. What the Imperial Master said to me was, everyone, I'm sharing my story based on real life experience. So as you listen to these stories, when you face similar situations, you need to make them your own. Sponsor, what should I do about that? It's not about what should I do, but rather when you need to do something, the sponsor handled the situation like this and like that. When you hear that and try it out for yourself, making it your own, those are the people who succeed. So you just keep asking, sponsor, what should I do? People who keep asking to be spoon-fed like that won't make it. So when I think about it, I also know how to create diamonds. But is it because I had the ability from the start? No, that's not it. In the end, when that mentor or teacher taught me, I listened. And when I faced similar problems or situations, I made my own solution. What happened then? I succeeded. So what happens now? I'm grateful for the diamonds. Now making them has become so easy for me. So now I'm going to show you the data and teach you how to make it. But here's the thing. From what I see, not just anyone can do this. But those who do succeed, those who make diamonds, what happens to them? That person is a true talent. If they've managed to make it, that person, if you make sure they succeed, you can receive a great reward. You understand, right? So now, after hearing Imperial's story about how to nurture and develop your organization, I'll share what I did, how I'm shaping the current situation, and then when you figure out how to build your own situation, that's when we achieve teamwork. It's not about waiting for your sponsor to do it for you. When you listen, take action, and achieve results, that's when your sponsor helps you. There are actually a lot of sponsors. Try looking up, keep going up. Think about the sponsors above you. There aren't that many. But what about the partners under your sponsor? The branches spread out, right? Like a bunch of grapes, they keep growing. As the number increases, it actually becomes easier to move up. That's why having the attitude of being willing to learn is so important. And only when you see this as your own business will your sponsor notice that attitude and think, if I help this person grow, the system income will really start to work and they'll support you even more. It's not about thinking, oh, I'm so amazing, or saying, sponsor, please do this for me, or do that for me. Do you know what happens if you say that? They might help you, but they could also become evidence against you. And what happens later? You might say, my sponsor abandoned me, but that means there could be an issue on your end as well. Do you understand what I mean? Impulum once said this in the past. When you're developing your line, there's something Impulum told me a long time ago. Back then anyway, Master Lee Deok Woo also had to secure both sides, right? So in order to maintain his position, he needed 2 codes. That means he would have needed key people, right? So Master Kim Gwang-ril would have needed codes as well. Lee Deok Woo. I'm talking about the old days, the past. And as he supported those people on both sides, they all succeeded together. But now look here. Here is Imperial Master Lee Hae-jo. And at first, before Imperial Master Lee Hae-jo appeared, the foundation was established below here first. But when Imperial Master Kim Kang-ryol was here, he must have been the one who first decided to start the business. Below that, there was Crown Master Kim Sang-shin. At that time, she was called the karaoke lady, remember? This is all talking about the early days before she became a crown master. So, in the end, what did they do? They all succeeded, right? So after hearing this story, I also started building my own. What I'm telling you now is that the Imperial Master must have continuously supported the left side of Crown Master Kim Sang-shin. That doesn't mean Imperial Master Kim Kang-ryol didn't work on his own left side. From his perspective, he needed a code, so they each did their own work. You get what I mean, right? So if you look at it here, no matter how many people you bring in, you still need people who can help you maintain your rank, right? As you continue to sponsor people, you need to find someone you can communicate with, someone whose mindset aligns with yours, someone whose goals match yours. But on the left side of Imperial Master Kim Gwang-rim, Crown Master Kim Sung-shim said she would start the business first. So he kept getting introductions and building down that side. But to maintain his own rank, someone has to come out on the other side as well. Even if you have a lot of people, it doesn't work if you can't maintain your rank. That's why you need a code. Even if sales are high, if you can't maintain your rank, you need more people, more leaders to come out. So who did they recruit at that time? They recruited Choi, Na, and Kyun, who is now a crown master. But at that time, Choi Na, the crown master, said that when they were in another network, they came looking for the Imperial. But they said, attach them to a line, do this, do that for me. What did the Imperial do? They said, go ahead, go ahead. So in the end, when they said, just attach me anywhere, and they were finally registered, where were they placed? Place them on the right side. What I want to say is this. Our key men, when I maintain my position, I need 2 on each side. But before you make those pairs, you have to build the bottom first, right? You have to create auto sales masters first. And as you become an auto diamond master, before making the pairs, you need to build the foundation below. Once you build the bottom, it's easier to build the top. So as you register people like this, even now, the Imperial Master and this side have become a code, right? Both have become Imperial Masters, right? And both sides have become Crown Masters, right? So as I was watching this, I thought, key man. Then for whom is this for? It's for myself. I secured that person as a code for my own sake, right? This is what's important. So when I heard this story, what did I do? People who wanted to do business in New Zealand started to appear, but I had to face reality. I couldn't go abroad anymore because it was during COVID. I couldn't travel overseas, but I still wanted to expand internationally. So what do you think happened? I thought, I need to pick one person, support them, make them my key person, turn them into a true global leader, and expand out to the world. I need to replicate myself properly with my own style, because eventually I'll need an interpreter too. The problem with interpreters is that if they don't understand the depth of atomy, when I talk, I might use simple atomy terms as a consumer, but it could be interpreted in a business or negative network marketing way. The information delivery could end up being wrong. Something that could be conveyed smoothly like a consumer might instead be interpreted as business, business, business. What does that mean? It's a matter of intuition. So if the interpreter doesn't understand the depth of atomy, the information won't be delivered properly. So I always hope that one of the proactive leaders in atomy would eventually help with interpretation for me. That thought was always on my mind. But then who showed up? Team leader Yu Jin appeared like an angel. What's really important here is that although there are many people besides me, I also had my own standards. So this is just my own style. You should also set your own standards according to what you need. But for me, what kind of person did I need? I needed someone with a good character. Why? Because I would have to stay around that person. I always thought I can be the one to provide support. So what kind of person could do things that I might lack? It was someone with a good character. Second, I hope they would be smart. Why? Because I would have to teach them things myself. Because is the system overseas better or worse than in Korea? Not good. So I thought it would be nice if they were smart enough to teach and guide others well. And third, I hope they would be diligent. And fourth, someone with an entrepreneurial mindset. And fifth, I always hoped for someone who could trust my words 100%. So after searching and searching for someone like that, I finally found one. So what do you think I did? I kept communicating with Diamond Master Yoonjin Lee, consulting about the left and right genealogy, and continued to expand from there. But everyone pay close attention. At first, I also learned something from the Imperial Master. Then I have to build my own as well. Everyone pay close attention. I have the esteemed Diamond Master Yoonjin Lee with me here today. Now, what's really important here is this. When it comes to genealogy, the first time I tried to expand overseas, I failed in Indonesia because I didn't know about things like this. But through that failure, I succeeded in building a network in New Zealand. In the end, it was because of those trial and error experiences that I was able to make it in New Zealand. So what I'm doing now is teaching you this method and explaining how I approached it. When I started, this person probably also registered people on both the left and right sides, right? On team leader Yu Jin's right side, we have Yu Kyung, who is now a successful sales master. She is, in fact, her older sister. This is team leader Yu Jin, the esteemed Diamond Master's very own real older sister. And as you can see, there are quite a lot of international foreigners present here today. And on this right side, the sales volume was huge. So even though Diamond Master Yu Jin and Sales Master Yu Kyung are sisters, there came a situation where they each had to do things separately. Because sometimes there's just no other way. Since each of them had their own small and large achievements, the sales kept becoming unbalanced. But from what I see, everyone, we talked about driving days and pile up, right? We called it lighting a fire underneath, right? So if you just look at it from a personal perspective, where would you want to light that fire? Of course, you want to light it under Sales Master Yu Kyung. But I didn't do it there. Why is that? Everyone, this is also a kind of strategy. Let's say I did light a fire underneath. Then the people above would get all fired up and say, I want to try this as a side job too. I want to try doing this business. That's how it should be. But when I look up, they're all foreigners. So can I even communicate with them? This is really important. Reality. I can't speak the language. So who do I need? I need Diamond Master Lee Yu Jin. This isn't something I can do myself. But when I look, both Diamond Master Lee Yu Jin and Sales Master Lee Yu Kyung speak English well because they're immigrants and have lived there for a long time. So when I thought about it, I realized I needed to take the opposite side. So I thought these two sisters should work together and do it. So which side did I take? Again, on the left side, I added another Korean person to my list. That's when Diamond Master Lee Yu Jin and Sales Master Lee Yu Kyun were paired together. By pairing them again, they could work together. Everyone, this is strategy. Because the sisters get along well, and I thought they should work together to develop foreign members, I took on the more difficult side myself. I thought I need to grow this side quickly. No matter what, I was determined to develop this side quickly, so I paired them up. And as I paired them up, now what's important here is when I paired this Korean person, thank you above, there were also foreigners above, right? But what's important about duplication is this. Diamond Master Lee Yu Jin trusted me 100%. And because I also trusted her 100%, she believed in me and followed exactly what I did. So she is someone who duplicated exactly as I guided her. I also did what I was told very well. So I duplicated Imperlim exactly and followed instructions as given. Then, as I started to get a feel for things and began to set a direction, what Diamond Master Lee Yujin did well was that when she realized she needed to maintain her rank, she understood, oh, I need codes. I need 2 people on each leg. So what happens then? If you look at it in terms of sales, you can't attach people, you can't help them. But how did we duplicate from the very beginning? We were trained with the Imperial Dream, Super Dream Vision, right? So what happens then? We started working with a people-centered approach. We didn't do our work based on sales. So regardless of sales, we decided to nurture people. And that's why we helped everyone under that person. It's the same even now. So what should I do? I place people on this side and I also place people under here. Korean people. So in the end, my people ended up on both sides. And what did Diamond Master Yu Yujin do? She also placed her own people on both sides. This is what's important, everyone. The point is, when you duplicate like this, what happens to the people under them in New Zealand? 2 lines, 2 lines, 2 lines. Everyone operates with their own business mindset. So what happens? There's no conflict. That's why the first step is so important. If you start off with, this is your line, this is the sponsor's line, it becomes hard to fix things later. What was important to me was that I hope people wouldn't have prior network marketing experience. The reason is, when I was a singer and entertainer, I went to a lot of auditions from a young age, but the heads of companies like JYP, SM, and YG say that they actually don't pick people who have already had some success elsewhere, like winning singing contests or having been part of another agency. Why? Because they've already been influenced, and it's really hard to break those habits. They actually prefer people who are like a blank slate because they absorb things better that way. But I'm also someone with no network marketing experience. Me too. So what happens then? I just learned everything from Atomy as it was, learned that Atomy is the best, and simply did exactly what Imperial Master taught me, and it worked out just like that. Since I was someone without any experience, I absorbed everything as it was. And in New Zealand, I also worked with someone who had no experience. Diamond Master Lee Woo-jin also had no experience. Atomy was just the first for both of us. We just thought, oh, I guess this is how it is, and did things as they were. So what happened? It worked out well. So since it keeps being maintained automatically, what happened? It turns out that the people below also end up doing the same. So on my right side, someone who was properly duplicated came out like that. Then on the left side, how did my partner learn how to create jewels? They figured it out. So now New Zealand is running on its own. So what do we do now? Diamond Master, we do it like this and like that. And we do it that way too. Now you'll become an auto diamond master. So once they understood exactly what happened, even though everyone is scattered and playing their own roles, thank you, they come together, split apart, communicate, and each gets really into it. So what happens then? It just starts running on its own. It's like a perfect clap. Isn't that right? It's really fun. It's crazy. Why? Because it's not something I do with my own ability alone.